Thank you so much for joining me again. Here we go again with yet another pour. What I'm trying to achieve today is something that works through tonal reds, different colours of reds, little hints of black and some gold. The paint is already mixed. So you can see we've got something here that's kind of bordering down to kind of bordering on a maroon or a darker red. That is a cadmium dark hue with some additional black in there. Just going to add a little bit of water as I play with it now. This is going to give us one of our darker colours as an aside to the black, obviously black being the darkest colour in this particular mix. I'm trying to achieve a result of reds that we saw in episode 1. So where I did the split colour painting, the split colour dirty pour in episode 1, I used blues and I used reds. What I actually did before I filmed episode 1 was complete a 2x2 canvas, the same size of this, that used all of the blues that featured in that split pour. So what I'm trying to do now is, I'm trying to get us into a position where I can actually have 3 2x2s that form a set. A red, a blue, and a red-blue split that you've already seen, as I say, in episode 1. So we've got a true red, you know, as I say, we've got the cadmium dark hue with a little bit of black. This one's a medium hue that's just darkened slightly. We have a, sorry, tell a lie, that is a crimson. This one here is the medium hue. We have a black, as I said, and wouldn't be a painting really, would it, without some form of metallics. So we've got the gold here. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 cups. I want to make this kind of a quick pour and a decent kind of speed of video for you guys. I'm going to make it slightly different. So I'm going to use 2/8 and a 16 to give me the 32-ounce coverage. And I am going to just go for it. So let's just go for it. Let's just make our colours up as we like to, you know, make our layers up as we talk about quite regularly. You know, contrasts are real good. A little bit of the opposite red here just to give us some reds in there. And we're going to interlace some gold. Yep, we're just going to interlace the gold, maybe a touch more because we like it. Big fan of gold. I'm going to take the dark colour again. Feed that through the mix. What I'm looking for is to follow a similar technique to what I followed last time. So it allowed some paint bleed through the layers. And I'm aiming to replicate what we already have. Now you might think, oh, we've seen you do this before, Ian. You absolutely have. But again, I'm trying to target something very, very specific here and see whether I can get a similar effect from this, as I say, to the first painting itself. So let's start to build up our layers now with a degree of speed. One thing to be careful of when you're building up similar colours is try and add a contrast between them, because they'll blend too much of a muchness. You'll get quite a large area of paint that appears to be kind of one tone or just breaks across tones in a gradient. As you've seen some of my paintings, I like to give quite a stark contrast to some of the materials that I'm using in there. Should I say some of the colours that I use in there. Again, without it becoming too washed out. So we'll see whether we achieve this. This is going to be laid on the canvas and the canvas flipped. So this will be interesting just to see how this actually turns out. Might be an excess of gold. If there is such a thing in any one of my paintings, obviously. Might be an excess of gold, but we'll see. I want to obviously target some of this blood or this true red through it, but again, I've just put a colour in there that obviously needs a touch of contrast to make that work. So you can see again, building up with slight contrast. Very, very little black in this. Everything within this mix has silicone with the exception of the black and the gold, because I kind of want to keep the black at the bottom. So to speak. I want to keep the black down there if I can, and just have it infrequently appearing as an accent. You can see we're getting there quite nicely now. In terms of quantity, lovely. A little more spitty spot of black here and there. Wonderful. Doesn't hurt to put kind of thin veins through things. And I think I'm going to top you off with, what are we going to top you off with? I'll put another bleed of you in and across. There we go. So I've got one cup ready to go. Let's move on to number 2, starting out with this colour. Just going to be really, really quite dynamic here as we go. These are all going to go on as dirty pours. You've seen me use, as I say, you've seen me use that technique before. So you know what it looks like. In the finest sense of one of my videos, I'm obviously praying I've made up enough paint at this point. It looks like it. I'm not overly concerned right now, but they're always famous last words and you've heard me use them before. So let's just keep it moving. I started out with some interesting full layers at the bottom of this cup. And I'm now starting to fragment as I kind of do. 2 kind of similar colours here, so I'll again keep them quite scant, and we never worry about a little drop of paint on the canvas because it quite easily disappears when we start to cover up. So again, another good helping of gold. I'm going to put a little drippy drop of black in here, maybe a little bit more black this time, more red, which is a really silly thing to say seeing as everything is red, but more of the medium, and again some more of the dark. And what I find is that this, when it pushes out in its pattern, it kind of gives you some darker edges, some darker rings to things. So it's kind of nice. I don't really want to go excessive in terms of the amount of black in this one cup. Nothing too excessive. Again, building up in layers, just working through, putting crisscrosses, different patterns, whatever kind of floats you bought at any given time. And if you want to drop a bit heavy, you can just drop a bit heavy, and you know that that's just penetrated through the layers below. So again, I've got a relatively well-developed cup here. I'm going to finish you off slightly lighter, and then just a touch of black on top. Perfect. So we've got 2 cups done. Time for number 3. Keep it moving. So a quick gold spot on the top. Woo, little gold spot. With something dark and contrasting around it. Perfect, really, to draw that gold out and to draw the colours through the gold as well, which would be kind of delightful. Again, no particular order, trying to keep that contrast in there between the layers so it doesn't become too mixed and too kind of hard to discriminate between colours. Again, that has a nice effect at times. You know, there's a place for everything. It has a nice effect, but what I find is that I really kind of want to replicate what I've got. Now, whether I get close to it, we shall soon see. Just give that a little scrape. I think I have hit the nail on the head as far as paint quantities go. I think I have actually hit it right on the head. So that's good. Again, we'll just keep developing it. Not too much black. Differentiating reds. You know, to give us a little split there. What we can do is kind of drop, I don't know, maybe an accent of gold in here. You know, just split the colours. We've finished our dark colour off there. So what are we going to finish with now? We're going to put you in. And I think I have enough paint. I'm kind of convinced I have enough paint. I don't know whether I'm trying to talk me into it or talk you guys into it at this point. But let's see. Okay, so we've cleared that one out and cleared that one out. Awesome. Messy fingers. I'll just give them a quick wipe on one of my cloths. Fantastic. Let's clean up the hands slightly. As we know, this kind of style of painting does get quite messy. By its very definition, you're pouring paint in places, so it's kind of funny. Really quite messy. Oh, nice big splodge of you. And I'm going to put a touch more gold through you, just to see what you emerge like. We are completely, I think, out of these colours, which I would love to have some more of, but I don't. So I'm going to use what I can actually get out of the container. And again, just little accents, little differentiations in colour, little veins, whatever you want to kind of call them. They all work, they all kind of come together when we pour. So, what I think I'm going to do is empty out one of our reds here. Perfect. Again, I'm kind of conscious that this may blend somewhat when we put it together, especially with kind of big coloured layers like this. But what I'm trying to do is split them apart. Again, just give us a little bit of break up when we come down to actually pour. So at the moment, we're looking as if we've got around about 30 ounces in this cup, that neck of the woods, or in these cups, should I say. Again, canvas is kind of messy underneath me. Am I going to lose sleep on that at this point in time? Not at all. We should be good to pour any second now, guys. Final top up of, final top up of this little cup here. Little bit of accent, something a little bit scrapey and different. We could even do that. There we go. Something a little bit scrapey and different from you too. We can even do that. And again, I'm operating quite quickly here, so I'm not being the tidiest of cats as I'm doing this. Perfect. Look at that. Beautiful colour mix. And I think we're going to finish you off with a little bit of black this way. And guys, I think we're ready to pour. I think, he says, we are ready to pour. So, as per usual, I am just going to take away all of the waste and get it out of our frame, so to speak. We've still got a little bit of black, we've still got a little bit of gold, which I kind of expected given the amount of quantity or the amount that we've actually used in this paint. It looks real good. So the exciting piece comes again, which we absolutely love. I'm just going to give this canvas a quick wipe. Not even going to worry. Look at the beautiful colours there. Absolutely awesome. Okay, so we've got two to the side, one on top. You've been here with me before. And let's flip. Woof, there we go. Okay, so I want to make sure that we are sitting on our cups as best we can do, because as you know, it tilts, it falls, and it does its own thing at times. Plus I also want to give you guys a reasonable view of the canvas. So we're going to move you over here, already beautiful. I'm going to take one of my pre-prepared pieces of cardboard. Actually, I'm going to take two at this moment. I'm going to place it over the top of the cup. And I'm going to drop and pull. And again, just give it a touch. And I'm actually going to use the same piece of cardboard on the other cup. And where am I going to put the other cup? It's going to go here. So there we go, same piece of cardboard, all done. Three happy cups. You can see it's already starting to develop around here, leaking from where I put this 8 ounce. So, a couple of ways we can release this, and I'm going to try this slightly differently now. So we're going to do a partial release, and then we're going to drop. And we're going to let it embed, we're going to let it spread. And we're just going to let that move out a little bit. You can see it's just slowly spreading over, and this is why we don't worry too much about what we've kind of spilled onto our canvas in places. Okay, that's developing beautifully. And I'm going to straight pull this one. And give it a little run off here. There we go, good. That one's done. And I'm going to give you, boom, another straight pull. Perfect. I hope that we get a pull down here. Awesome. Work it around the edge. And time to not mess around and give you a bit of a motion to you as I pull you. So that may just create, as you can see, an additional circle there. Fantastic. Oof, what's it looking like? Only one way to tell, guys. Time to get all tilty. That is absolutely beautiful. I don't know if you can see at the side of my canvas there, but that's just literally spreading the remnant paint that kind of fell off the cups. Am I feeling this? I am actually. I really like this. A little bit of tension here, and you can see we'll just get runs out in places. It helps us to spread the paint and get the most out of this kind of cell development, whilst obviously retaining some of the shape to it. Many people try and, oh, that's an interesting bubble. There we go. Many people try and kind of keep the cells as circular as possible, which I can understand, and I kind of aspire to myself. However, what you find is that when you lift and tilt, you do get some movement in your canvas. You know, you get some movement in your cells, some stretch. But then when you work the torch, you actually get a pure circular push through. So, enough talking. Which way are we going to go? Let's start it moving in that old, familiar, around the houses way. And I think we're going to go, where are we going to go? Interesting. We're going to go this way because it's decided to tell us. Okay, so little corner coverage and working around the edge here. I might just pull it down a touch. Yep, keep working it around the edge. I don't want to lose too much of the black, but I always say these things. And they always kind of work out really nice. Again, let's get tricky in terms of how we're handling the canvas. Good amount of runoff. I can hear it, I can't see it. That's for sure. Now this is interesting. I don't think I've got the colours that spot on, but the beauty of what I'm actually trying to do here is that I don't need to. Because what I end up with as a result either way is a beautiful painting that to me provides its own uniqueness. And sorry I'm out of shot guys, but I'm working hard to get this corner covered. I'm just going to run down our sides. To me it presents its own uniqueness anyway, so I end up with a beautiful piece of art regardless. So whether it matches the one I've got or not remains to be seen somewhat. Oh, he says dipping his arm in the paint like a clumsy guy. There we go, I'll soon fix these. Right, now let's get the knives out and let's get to work. Let's try and get some coverage, particularly in this corner where I seem to have just knocked a little bit of our friend the paint off. How have I got on the sides? Okay, I'm covered, I'm covered, I'm covered. This is covering, so I'll give it a chance just to fall. It's not fully solid yet in terms of run down the sides, so there may be quite a bit of work in terms of getting this thing just fully covered. I'm not losing too much sleep on it right now because it actually does look pretty good, to be fair. Again, back to my technique of make sure the corners are covered, do a run down. This is bleeding in quite beautifully. I'm picking up a dark colour and a gold contrast here for a red. Lovely. Corner is covered. So we're covered all the way through there, we're covered all the way through here. Again, probably worrying much about nothing. I did get a bit close on the paint, as you can tell, towards the end, so I was slightly concerned as to what it would mean. Right now I'm not overly worried, and again it's kind of easy just to play with this, and you know, this is kind of where some of the skill I guess comes into pouring, is when you've kind of not only anticipating what it's going to do on your canvas and trying to aim for a result, but actually being able to finish it off in a certain way, you know, make sure your corners and everything else that go with it are smooth. Pretty cool way, to be honest with you. Pretty cool way of painting because it combines both, oh, excuse me, it combines both tactile and kind of set and forget methods. You know, just drop your paint and let it roll kind of thing. Again, working these corners, trying to get our beautiful coverage worked out. I've seen a lot of people use their finger to do this. You know, trace it around. Personally, I like to kind of scoop and pick up the paint and then retread it back onto where it's kind of fallen from. I find I manage to maintain it. It doesn't become kind of one colour or that much of a monotonal mix. So again, you probably can't see, but I'm working the corners like crazy. Oh, we've got a good corner to deal with on the other side now. Quite a good corner to deal with here. I've got a lot of black, so I'm just going to actually, as if I'm re-pouring this corner. There you go. I'm going to let this work its way. I'm going to pick up some of this as well, which is kind of almost Spider-Man-ish on this side. It's quite cool, to be honest. Looks really kind of cool. Again, working our corner. Let's pick a bit of red up from down here. And I think, guys, we are approaching a stage of coverage nirvana. Almost. A little bitty bot here. A little bitty spot that I seem to have caught. which I caught before, I do believe. Right, let's have a quick look and a quick scout. Oh, little white spot here. You're going to disappear like that. Awesome. Let's do a quick tread around the sides now. Oh, beautiful pen. Pulling off some gorgeous colours here. Does this match with what I've got? I don't think so. Am I happy? Yes, always, because I'm painting. Do I think we're going to end up with a beautiful picture? Well, you can tell me at the end of this, and you can maybe leave a comment. Tell me what you like about it, what you didn't like about it. You know, whether you thought I made something that you enjoyed, or you know, whether you want to see something a bit different. I'm very conscious of the fact that I seem to be doing a lot of dirty pours at the moment. But I'm kind of making up on some things that I need to produce for me and for other people. And I thought I would share this journey with you while I do that. So forgive me if you are seeing quite a few of the same techniques right now, but that will absolutely change as time starts to move on. So beautiful. We've got full canvas coverage now. And for those of you who know what we do at this point, it's our friend the blowtorch. And again, just a little bit of a trim before we go there. And a double check on everything. Very happy with that. So time to take the gloves off. And time to get our friend Mr. Torch out. Have I hit the mark on this painting? I don't know. We'll soon see. So again, just saw quite a few reasonable sized air bubbles as I poured this. So again, we're primarily aiming for air bubbles, removing those and obviously drawing through, as you've heard me say before, breaking surface tension and allowing for some of our lower level paints to pull through. Oh, this is kind of pretty now. I'm starting to see the golds pop through in places where I didn't think there was much in the way of definition. Very pretty, quite like that. Okay, less gassing, more gas. And again, moving. Hopefully you can see we're getting some development here now. And I think I'm going to take my time with this one and really work it, because I think there's an awful lot of nested kind of pockets to develop as I look through it. I'm seeing an awful lot of potential. You can see how the three-way split that we had has dissipated somewhat. Again, just keep moving. I'm going to make my way around the canvas in a second. Some people use a heat gun for this particular process. Never a hairdryer, but some people use a heat gun. And I've seen some beautiful results. Personally, I love a blowtorch. I used to work as a welder some time ago. Not many welders kind of get involved with painting, I would imagine, but I used to work as a welder some time ago, and I've been very comfortable with flames and torches and such things in my hands for quite some time now. So again, no rights or wrongs, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. Now whatever works for you. So as you can see, I've got black poking through, but it's not coming through due to the silicone, it's just due to the layering that we created in our cups. Some interesting wave patterns here and some wave patterns here. Time to work around the back just again, tripping up in the makeshift studio, just work around the back a little bit, around the tripod. Apologies for the noises, guys. And I think this one, once I've actually cleaned it up just a little and continue to work out some of these air bubbles, I think, guys, we have a finished painting. Well, that didn't take us as long as we usually take. Again, the paint mixed up and I was kind of looking for a particular target finish. Let's see how this finishes up, and I will make sure that the completed picture is included as a thumbnail at the very least. I'm also going to try and post these onto my Facebook page, Leachy Loves to Create. Feel free to look that up. And I'm also going to try and get these things together on my website, ianleach.art, A-R-T. Feel free to check that out. Have a look at some of my previous posts in there. Some of my creations pre-YouTube are in there. Thank you very much for joining me as ever. Always a pleasure. I'm Leechy and I love to paint. Thank you.